You're watching the Hampton Classic Horse Show on WVVH-TV, Hamptons Television.
So, Jeanette, this is the 14th year the Hampton Classic has hosted these championship finals of the Long Island Horse Show Series for riders with disabilities, presented by BNB Bank. It's one of the first things you did when you started with the Hampton Classic. Tell us, if you would, what it means to you personally and what it means to the Hampton Classic.
Well, it's interesting. I love it. It's one of my favorite days of our horse show. And when we first started looking at doing something with therapeutic riding programs, we were actually asked, could we do some kind of demonstration or exhibition? But these folks are athletes too. They're out there week after week riding, putting in the energy and the time, and we figured it would be a nice way to have them compete in an actual competition here at the Hampton Classic, and why not create a platform for that? So that idea spawned what is now the Horse Show Series, and we're thrilled to be the finals. It means so much to me whenever anyone asks what are the things that you're most proud of in your role as executive director. That's definitely one of the ones that right at the top.
And I noticed during the breakfast that several of the riders that come over to you, you've developed friendships with some of them that have been here multiple years.
Yeah, I recognize there's a lot of friendly faces, both the riders and their families. I love seeing the same folks every year and seeing how they develop, and then also seeing some new faces. The program has grown to a lot more different therapeutic riding programs that participate, which I love to see as well.
Really one of the special days at the Hampton Classic, and we congratulate you for bringing it here.
Thank you so much, Marty.
Katie, the founder of the Long Island Horse Show Series for riders with disabilities, it was 14 years ago that you brought this to Jeanette as an idea. Did you ever think then that it would become this big annual event that we have here now?
It's overwhelming and overjoyful with, who would have imagined that it would be this big of an event every year for 14 years?
And, to us with the Hampton Classic, it is one of the really premier days. It's such a special event, special happening. Tell us, if you would, the impact it has on the riders and the participants to know that ultimately, if they're able, they could qualify to ride at the Hampton Classic.
Well, all of the riders put in so much effort to get here, first of all. And then the Hampton Classic rolls out the red carpet for all of our riders on this day. It really is tremendous. And they get to meet these amazing riders, the Grand Prix riders, the Olympic equestrians. It's just a marvelous day. I couldn't imagine or ask for anything more for our riders from the Long Island Horse Show Series.
Well, we're so thrilled that you're here and the event is here. We look forward to many, many more years of hosting this, and we congratulate you on the incredible work that you do.
Thank you. The riders are incredible. They do all the work, and you guys really just roll out the red carpet and make it a wonderful day for us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Katie. On behalf of the Hampton Classic Horse Show, we are so thrilled to have everybody here for the 14th annual championship finals of the Long Island Horse Show Series for riders with disabilities, presented by BNB Bank. We want to congratulate everybody for qualifying to get here. This is
my 14th year here, and I am really proud of this program. When Katie came to meet with me, I think a lot of you have heard this story because I see a lot of familiar faces, which I love. But when Katie came first to meet with me and talk about having a way of including therapeutic riding at the Hampton Classic, it became clear really quickly that it made sense to have an actual competition and not just an exhibition or demonstration. So these riders are athletes, and they put in a lot of time and effort to do the best they can so that they can have time in the ring and compete the way anyone who puts time in as an athlete would want that opportunity. So we're thrilled to be able to show the great work that they put in, and congratulations to everyone for qualifying today, and have great sport, have great fun, and enjoy this gorgeous day. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Jeanette. We're privileged to have with us here today one of our stars on the show jumping circuit. She's someone who was born into one of the most revered, most respected, most loved families on our horse show circuit. She literally grew up riding on the National Horse Show Circuit. She was a star at a very young age. I think, Heather, you won the lead line at Devon at like age 4. and went on to be a star in both the Hunter ring and the jumper ring as a junior. Went to the North American Young Riders Championships, if I'm not mistaken, won five gold medals at the North American Young Riders Championships. Started riding in Grand Prix as a teenager, about age 16 or so. Has been a star again on the jumper side, on the hunter side. Has ridden for the United States equestrian team representing this country internationally, and holds the record for the most years winning the gold medal as the sweetest, nicest rider on our circuit. Please welcome my dear friend, Heather Caristo-Williams.
Thank you so much. It was quite an introduction. Thank you so much.
It's all true.
Thank you. I just wanted to say congratulations to all of you. Being able to compete here is always an honor. As being from Long Island, I am a native here. Anytime being able to come to this show is a really special event. And having qualified to be here is an incredible thing that you've all done at the Long Island Horse Show Series. And I'm so excited for you to have your finals today. And I'm really pleased to be here. And I mean, what better day do you have right now? And what better venue? I mean, there's really nothing like riding here. So I'm really excited for all of you to have your finals today. Congratulations.
Heather is going to stay with us in just a few moments when we present our awards. Heather will be presenting them to each of our riders. But first, this is always power I introduce someone who needs no introduction whatsoever, somebody that you all know, the originator of the Long Island Horse Show Series for riders with disabilities. She has run it so magnificently and really made it one of the most special days we have here at the Hampton Classic. Katie McGowan.
Thank you, Marty. Welcome, everybody, and of course, thank you, Jeanette. Thank you for we always tell the story, but it's so important. It was a freezing cold day in March, and it was probably one of the coldest days ever. And Jeanette welcomed us. We have a fantastic committee that came here to speak about bringing the Long Island Horse Show Series here to the Hampton Classic, and she welcomed us with open arms. And it's been 14 years now that the Hamptons has been welcoming us, and it's amazing. Every year is better and better and better. I welcome all of you, riders, of course, and congratulations for getting to compete here and qualifying to be here. I welcome all the farms, and every year we grow. It's Wildwood Farms, Days May Farms, Gallup NYC, Freedom Rider, Horseability, and the Thomas School of Horsemanship. Welcome to all of those farms. And thank you to the families, the trainers, and of course the volunteers that help get our riders here to all the horse shows that they competed in in order for them to qualify to be here at the Hamptons this year. Thank you to all of you. I also want to say thank you. Heather, a great story that I just was speaking with Heather about is years ago when I first started Horseability, we had one horse named Bandit, but then the second horse, his name was Churchill. And Churchill was bought from a family, the Borelli family, and I bought that horse, and I had the pleasure of riding him when Christina went to college. And it was bought from the Christo family. And that was Heather's father, Ralph Christo. So Churchill was one of our horses that originally started the program with us. Then we had the great pleasure of taking him back into the program, and some of our riders here have had the great pleasure of riding Churchill. So it's full circle. So Heather, thank you for having us have Churchill with us. So that's pretty neat. So without further ado, we're going to have Lisa Zimmerman, who is one of the original founding members of the LIHSSRD program, come up, and we're going to announce our participants. So Lisa, will you come on up?
Our first rider is Victoria Natali. Julia Glens. Lauren Richardson. Jasmine McMillan. Isaiah Forte. Bruce Finn. April Klepfer. Jariel Vega. Xavier DeCastro. Charlotte Burke. Sheridan Basso. Joe Penzel. Matthew Pope. Noah Capps. Sophie Bagdasarian. And Lucian Rodriguez.
I also want to give a special thanks to Marty Bauman, who has been terrific also with all the PR and our biggest supporter also here at the Hampton Classic. So thank you, Marty. Everything you see, all the pictures, everything on the Hampton TV, everything you see is Marty is a big fan of ours, and he does a lot of PR for us as well while we're here. So thank you again. Everybody, leader sidewalkers should be heading their way down to the ring for a warm-up. And I wish everybody the best of luck today. Put your best foot forward, but most of all, have fun today. Have the best day ever.
Kevin, as always, a pleasure to have you here, and we thank you so much for your support of the Hampton Classic. You know, there's so many things you could choose to sponsor and support here at the Hampton Classic, and you choose this riding competition for riders with disabilities. Tell us why that is.
Well, anything with the Hampton Classic is always exciting to be involved in, but this event, and I've been coming here for almost a dozen years now, to see the dedication, the commitment of the families, the partnership that exists, quite honestly, between the animal and the rider, it inspires you, and it really is a great way to kick off a wonderful week.
We always say that this has become one of our favorite days here for the very reasons that you just gave, that it's really meaningful to the riders. They enjoy being at the Hampton Classic, and I know in speaking with Katie McGowan and some of the organizers, they're so thankful to the bank for the support that you give. Did you think years ago when you started sponsoring this that it would become such a big annual event as it has?
Oh, no. I think I think I talked to you this morning about the interview for Newsday, and just the impact that this event has on Long Island and for us as an institution. And you mentioned Katie. You know, our little contribution is so small compared to what she and so many of our colleagues do for these riders. So to be a small part of that is just a great way to start the week.
Well, we thank you again for supporting the Hampton Classic, and in particular for supporting these championship finals for riders with disabilities.
Well, again, thank you for the opportunity. I look forward to seeing you all week.
Thanks, Kevin.
Bye now.
So Isaiah, you just won the championship here at the Hampton Classic. That make you happy?
Yes,
And how did you like riding here?
goody goody.
Goody, goody. And I heard them ask you what you did well today. Tell us what you did well today.
Trotting and trading my reins.
Very important. And you've ridden here at the Hampton Classic before, I know. How many times?
I don't know.
No. But you always enjoy it?
Yes,
And what's your favorite thing?
trotting.
Trotting's your favorite, and you did it super because you are a champion at the Hampton Classic.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations. Jasmine, congratulations on riding here at the Hampton Classic.
Thank you.
Have you ridden here before?
Yes, I have.
And you always enjoy it?
Yes.
What is your favorite thing to do when you're riding?
Posting.
You like the posting? And you like coming to the Hampton Classic?
Yes.
And this was exciting being here today, yes?
Yes.
Anybody you want to thank for riding here?
Isaiah.
Isaiah, we just talked to him. And you two are good friends?
Yes.
And you're hoping that you can come back again?
Yes, I am.
Well, you did a great job. We congratulate you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Phil DeVita, first of all, we want to congratulate you donating your time to judge these finals of the Long Island Horse Show Series for Riders with Disabilities. High five to you for doing that.
It's my pleasure, Marty. I tell you, it's a joy to be here, and these guys they light up your day. Seeing how hard they work and what they get out of performing in the ring and competing, it's a joy to do it.
And it's a real serious competition. It's not like it's therapeutic riding for its own sake. It's a competition, and I guess you more than anyone can see what they put into it trying to win.
Well, and in the last group we had 10 riders, and to place 1 through 10 3 times in 3 separate classes is it's a lot of work, and you have to take it very seriously because they take it very seriously. 8th and 9th and 7th and 6th are important to these guys, so it needs to mean something, and you need to do it right. And seems like I take a little longer than I maybe need to, but I try and make the effort to make sure I got it, at least in my mind, how it should be.
Well, I think they appreciate the effort that you put into it. I know the Hampton Classic does. I know Horseability does. And we thank you and commend you.
It's my pleasure, and it's always a pleasure and a joy to be here, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go Yankees.
You bet.
You're watching the Hampton Classic Horse Show on WVVH-TV, Hamptons Television.